Okay, so today in the GCM scale garage here, we're going to be making some bench lighting. Now if you can have a look at this, basically what we've got here is we're making a fluorescent lamp. So this is going to sit over top of the bench. It'll sit over the bench like this in the scale garage, and this lamp is something that you would have over a bench in your real shop, and so we decided we were going to make some up. Now I'm sorry that these are so hard to see, but we're talking about some shiny parts and it's difficult to see in the studio here. So basically what we ended up using is an aluminum channel. I found this aluminum channel kicking around the shop. It actually used to have ribs in the middle, and so we machined out the ribs in the middle, so they're gone. And then that left us with this nice little U channel here, and being a hollow channel inside, we can put whatever we want in there. Now to get lighting inside something that's only this big, it's you can't really put LEDs out the top sticking out all over the place because it won't look right. So we decided to use this strip lighting, and you guys have all probably seen this around, but this is a chopped off chunk of that strip lighting. I ended up getting this stuff from Hobby King. You can get it on eBay and all over the place. It's 12 volts. You can cut it into sections that are 3 lights long, so that means you can just add as many or as little as you need, and they're really nice. It's a bit of a blue tint, this particular one, and because of that I decided to use this diffuser here. This is a chunk of leftover diffuser that we had from an industrial job, and it actually comes with this blue wrapping on it, and you peel that off like a Lexan sheet, and then you get this sort of translucent, odd looking thick plastic, and its intent is specifically to diffuse the light so that the single point light doesn't shine as a single point, it shines as something brighter, and you don't get to see the actual bulb center sort of thing. So that's what we're using this for. And the channel, it was just the right size for the LED strip. So the first mode of operation is to find yourself a piece of channel that you can use. This one happens to have a nice rolled edge. It looks just like our actual real shop lighting. And the LED strip is sticky on the back in our case, so we're just going to lay it right in like this, and it fits right in the strip, and then you just sticker it in with the sticky back that's already on the LED and solder on your 2 wires here at the end, and that's how you get the lighting in. And then in our case we're going to use this piece of diffuser, and so the diffuser actually lays in over top like this. So now you've got this LED strip that's in the aluminum channel with a diffuser strip. It's still only as thick as the channel, so it's kind of a flat bottom thing, and when it's off it looks kind of unassuming. You can't really see what's going on with it. It definitely does look like a shop light, and so they seem to work great for that. Now if you had a roof in your shop, you could stick them right to the roof and then you would have no problem with the wiring. You just run the wiring up the top. So in our case we wanted to suspend them down off the bench. They're going to go underneath this bench here actually, so we needed a rod that would suspend it down, and in our case it's going to be suspended sort of like this under the bench. We'll cut off the rod here so that it's only this high, and then we'll suspend these lamps under the bench like this in our shop. So now how do we get the rod? Well, the rod is just this airplane thing. This is a push rod from an airplane. Found these at the hobby shop, and they have this threaded end, which is really nice, and then this long straight piece of material that looks exactly like a conduit for a fluorescent light in your shop. So what we did is cut this off with only a couple of threads left over, and then we threaded it right in to the top of the aluminum channel, just like that. And so now we've got the strip light already put in with the diffuser on it, and before the LED went in we drilled and tapped the holes for these to go on to the bottom of our bench, our mezzanine bench. And then we've got this conduit looking thing that you can hang the lamp from, so you know, essentially you've got this, you know, it's a clean, simple shop light that's functional, and you can use it in your scale garage. In our case, for the wiring, what we did is we looped the wiring around in the bottom of the LED here, and then heat shrinked it, and we ran the heat shrink all the way up, and it looks like a Kelms grip wire hanging from the roof. If for you electrical guys, you'll go know exactly what that is. But the small 3mm black heat shrink looks exactly like the Kelms grip wire for using on hanging lighting. And so, you know, here we go. We've got our scale workbench lamp with the Kelms grip wire and the conduit hangers and the whole bit. I was thinking chain, but the chain would always be flapping around and it wouldn't be hard to get it to look scale, so we went for the conduit. Now, excuse me, we're going to trim these off to the right size for our workbench when we actually get them installed. And we're going to hang them actually just underneath behind this area so that there's nothing showing, and then we'll run the wires out the back wall so that we can switch them. Let's have a look at what this looks like. It's really hard to see in the bright light, but because these are 12-volt LEDs, it's really easy for us to just plug them in. You get an idea of the brightness here when I plug it in and unplug it here. You get an idea for how it diffuses. But I'm just going to cover up the top of the shop here so that we don't actually see the shop lights shining in, and that'll help a lot. So there's the shop now, excuse me, in our sort of nighttime scene. So you really get an idea of how this diffuser works. You know, we've got strip lights in there and there's single LEDs, but have a look at the way the light shines. It shines as if it was actual bar fluorescence. You don't get the actual LED point shining down because of the diffuser. So I encourage you to try that out with different types of Lexan and different materials, acrylic, whatever you can find. And you know, this thing puts out an enormous amount of light. So when we're trying to do our night pictures in our shop, in our actual RC shop here, you know, we'll have lots of light under the bench, and it's going to look fantastic with all the lighting under there. And we're hoping to expand it as well to have another one hanging over here over the workbench in this area, and then we'll switch them on the 12 volts, and that's going to get us our scale lighting for our RC garage and RC workshop. So that's our update today for the GCM scale garage, and we look forward to hearing some of your stories about how you're putting together your scale garage. And I love looking around the net and seeing all your ideas, and here's one for shop lighting from the GCM scale garage.